Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Taryn the Traveling Trainer with GoTarryn Personal Training here in the greater Atlanta area, and I'm about to welcome a first-time guest here on our show, another wonderful fitness professional here in Atlanta, Georgia, the athletic director of Concourse Athletic Club, Ms. Catherine Luciano. She'll be on here momentarily, folks, and before she comes on, I just wanted to invite everyone out there to please subscribe to the YouTube channel link that you see at the bottom of your screen, and while you're watching today's interview, if you'd be so kind as to like the video, share it with all of your friends and family, and leave us a comment while you're at it as well. Now, for those of you who know, I used to work at Concourse Athletic Club some 16 years ago, in fact. It was my first time personal training, actually, in Atlanta, Georgia. They welcomed me in, and I absolutely love that fitness center. You've heard me before on these video blogs say that that is the very best. I've gone on record that's saying they are, and we're going to find out and learn more about Concourse Athletic Club as well. And who better to bring on the show to talk about it than the athletic director, Catherine Luciano, who also, by the way, came with the general manager, Suzanne Seipert, to come guest lecture at one of my Georgia State University classes recently at Fitness Program Management. So again, we're going to be having her on here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned, and remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll see you in a bit, folks. All right, folks, welcome back, and we're back on GoTarryn TV, joined for the very first time by the athletic director of Concourse Athletic Club, side by side, Ms. Catherine Luciano. Kat, how are you doing out there today?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And again, thanks so much for being on here. I appreciate
My pleasure.
It's great to not only have you on here, but I got to meet you for the very first time in person when you came to guest speak with us, and of course you and Suzanne came to Georgia State. And that was wonderful. We got you to, talk with some of the folks at Fitness Program Management in Georgia State. So now here we are. And Catherine, I wanted to talk about Concourse Athletic Club specifically. We're going to get into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Before we do, though, let me ask, so we get to know you a little bit more. If this is the folks, that are watching the first time they get to see you here, please give us an introduction, where you're from, how you ended up in Atlanta, and what made you jump into fitness and all that good stuff, please.
Okay, perfect. Well, anyway, thanks again, though, for having me. But I grew up in Delaware, actually, and I spent a lot of time in my early 20s in Philadelphia, so I was really close to Philadelphia. But I didn't decide to get into fitness completely until after college. So I had actually graduated from the University of Delaware and then went to work for an incorporation company, which, is kind of a boring sit at a cubicle kind of job. Yeah. But I worked with my two best friends. So, there was the good and the bad. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but at the same time, the work was sitting in a cubicle. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that for my life. And my only other interest really was nutrition. And that's what led me into fitness in the beginning, was nutrition. Diabetes had run in my family, and I really decided that I knew something inside of me knew that, that our health is not outside of our control, that we could take care of these issues that seem to be plaguing everyone, from diabetes to arthritis to all these different things. But now at the same time, when I was 20, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder called vasculitis. It was the strangest thing. It was obviously my whole system, and they couldn't tell me where it came from. They didn't know what happened. They didn't know where it was coming from. They didn't know what caused it. So I got this feeling. I felt like everybody was kind of shrugging their shoulders and giving me this, well, here's what we see. And, generally it runs in the family, but we don't have that in your family. Okay, well, maybe you were sick and it didn't, fully stop sort of fighting. Your body maybe didn't stop fighting itself. So I wasn't okay with any of that because at 20 years old, getting chemo and steroids, it completely distorted my body, and and it damaged my kidney. And 9 years after that, I needed a kidney transplant.
Oh, wow.
So, it's pretty traumatic, and it just felt like the medical community, who were supposed to be the experts, really didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a part of it as well. That led to a lot of self-research and things that I needed to look for. But, okay, so I decided after college I was going to go back to college for nutrition, and I was going to maybe get into being a registered dietitian and doing diabetes education. And since I re-enrolled, and now it's post-college, so full-time job, paying for my own apartment, my car, all these things.
Oh, yes.
So, I decided that if I went to college on the weekends only, it was going to take me 100 years,
Mm.
because you can take maybe 2 classes a semester.
Mm-hmm.
So, I graduated from college initially with a degree in business. And, well, actually, my degree is in Italian studies with a minor in business.
Okay.
So nowhere close to nutrition. So it was, I mean, I had a lot of work to do if I was going to do that. So that's what led me to personal training. I thought, well, if I could become a trainer, I could make a lot of money and I could make my own hours. And that way I could really enroll in school on a more of a full-time basis again. But my fitness career took off. So I attended National Personal Training Institute. I graduated from there. I actually then taught the program when I graduated. And all of this was during the time of my kidney transplant.
Wow.
So I was teaching. I never finished my nutrition, and my career just seemed to steamroll. I kept getting offered these different things. Meanwhile, my brother lived down here in Georgia, and he decided, or he was working for a really upscale club, which happens to be a part of the Wellbridge Company.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We have 2 clubs here in Atlanta. We have Concourse and we have Athletic Club Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
He was working at Athletic Club Northeast at the time.
Neat.
And being from Delaware, we didn't really have big, elaborate, beautiful gyms.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go into Philadelphia for that. And so he's telling me, you got to come down. You got to see this place I work for. You got to come. You got to come. So I actually came down, I visited, and then a week later I moved down.
Oh, wow.
And,
That's so cool. Wow.
So I didn't start immediately at Athletic Club Northeast, but pretty quickly I started leasing apartments because I got a free apartment. I was working the system to get
Absolutely.
a free apartment.
Definitely.
And so it was across the street from Athletic Club Northeast. So I worked there part-time and then moved into, I was moving away from leasing apartments because I was only doing that for my apartment to help me move. And so lo and behold, I was actually going to turn in my resignation, and they turned over general managers at the time. And they had lost their personal training manager and asked me if I wanted to apply. So I became the personal training manager at Athletic Club Northeast. And after a year or so, I was promoted to the East Regional Personal Training Manager. So after that was about 5 years at ACN with the Wellbridge Company, I received a call from another company, and they pretty much recruited me to another club here in Atlanta. So I did that for about 4 years. And then and when I saw the position available at Concourse, I decided to come back. So the way that Concourse fits into the Wellbridge umbrella is that Wellbridge is our parent company, but Wellbridge doesn't own the Concourse. We have separate owners. Mm-hmm. Those owners hired Wellbridge to be our managing company.
Got it.
So I'm now I came back as the personal training manager in April of 2015.
Okay.
And so I've been here for about 2.5 years. But a year ago, I was promoted to athletic director here. So in addition to overseeing the personal training department, I now oversee our group fitness manager. So indirectly, the group fitness team and the Pilates team. And we have private yoga, so I oversee the private yoga as well.
Excellent. What a story, Catherine. That's wonderful that all worked out like full circle and, able to come back to Wellbridge at Concourse. And I've mentioned to my clients and students that's my favorite gym ever, the Concourse Athletic Club.
Right.
I love that gym. So that's a great segue now. That's transition for the folks who are watching that have no idea, have never been to Concourse, or they even live in Atlanta. They have the option of gym shopping. Let's jump into the Concourse Athletic Club. That's what I wanted to ask you about next. So tell us, please, you've been there now as, different roles now as athletic director, but also personal training manager for, I guess, going on almost 3 years now
right.
there. So, what can you tell us about, give us a little visualization for the folks who have not been there.
Okay.
And please walk us through, I guess let's start with the meat and potatoes, your department, the personal training, strength training room, cardio aerobic room. What can they expect when they come check out Concourse?
So our club is unique. I mean, a lot of clubs are unique, but my areas, so the weight rooms and things, it's a very different, unique setup. The main focal point of our club, once you're inside, is the basketball court. And then we have 3 levels. Mm-hmm. But down on that first floor, we have our hardcore weight room, which is pretty much like your dumbbells, your strength equipment. We have an Olympic platform. We have an endless rope machine, so a lot of fun stuff. But that's kind of, as you call meat and potatoes, I would call that the meat and potatoes of really kind of your strength equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also our plate loaded machines. So
Mm-hmm.
in that room, but we have 3 fitness areas that you'll find a lot of trainers in. So a separate room from that is where we keep our select dry stack machines, our free motion equipment. So that's a lot of our cable machines, and then a lot of our treadmills. We also have 2 self-powered treadmills, which we're really excited about, because without using the electricity, it really requires a lot from the body, and you can also use them as a sled. So the trainers really love those, and they're fairly new, so we're excited about those.
I've never heard of that, Cat. So self-propelled treadmill, is that what you said?
Correct. Yes.
So in other words, instead of it moving, the person who's on it moves it.
Correct.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a neat
So you
concept.
have a gear shift, pretty much, so that if you have it on really light, you can walk on it fairly easily. Okay,
Wow.
and it's powered by each of your steps,
Oh,
and
how
then
cool.
you can add resistance, and you can put it on fairly resistant, and then you can use it as a sled. Like you'll see people pushing sleds down hallways and
Mm-hmm.
things, which we have that as well. But then it's real forceful, and you can do a lot of fun stuff with it as well. But it's all coming from you.
I got
So
to
there's
come
no
out there
help.
and I got to see this. I've got
You
to
got to
visit. That
come
gives me
try
another
it.
reason to visit. That's awesome.
You
Wow.
got to come. Yeah, you got to come see us.
How
Um,
cool.
so that's a separate room, and then a third fitness room that we have. Now I call this one our play space. Other people call it the functional space. But that's where we have our battle ropes. We have vipers. We have kettlebells. We have sandbells. We have dual handle medicine balls. So that's kind of like where a lot of our fun stuff is. And in each of those areas, yeah, because if we count the endless rope machine, in each of those areas, there's a little bit of cardio. And then as you go up through the levels in the club, we have cardio on every level. So we have treadmills, and we have arc trainers, and we have ellipticals, and we have lateral trainers, and rowing machines. We even have Versa climbers, which you don't really find in most places any longer. So we really have kind of like, we've covered our space with cardio machines so that you have all kinds of places to work out. You can be kind of isolated. You could be with the masses. We have some of the most amazing views in the entire city. So there's one space over on the one end of the building where you can overlook a man-made lake that has a fountain in the center of it. So you can kind of zen out if you need to. So we have some beautiful, beautiful spaces in the club.
That's excellent, Catherine. And so you definitely cover cardio machines and all the aerobic equipment. You talked about the cable pulleys and the hammer strength plate weighted machines. How about the people who are really into their free weights, dumbbells, and kettlebells? Remind me, because it's been years since I've been there. So what does that layout look like, kind of?
So we have kettlebells in 2 rooms. We
Oh,
have
okay.
kettlebells in our play space, and then also in what we call the meat and potatoes room.
Oh,
And
okay.
the meat and
Okay.
potatoes room is pretty much where you have your dumbbells. So we have dumbbells that go up to, I believe, 100 pounds, but I could be wrong. We might have 120-pound dumbbells. And that's where we have some preloaded straight bars. We have flat benches,
Mm-hmm.
incline, decline. That's where we have our bumper plates. So our Olympic platforms and bumper plates are in that room as well. We have a couple of cable crossover machines there. So that's where there's also the weight plate loaded machines.
No, those are
So
great.
all of that is in that room.
Yeah, I love that, because also I remember from your presentation too at Georgia State. In addition to personal trainers that are obviously available there, there's also a fitness staff. Is that right? That they wear from what I recall, the red shirts, I believe.
Correct.
So if a person is there at the gym and they have no clue what they're doing, and they see that the trainers, you can't bother them, they're with the client. What options do they have then with those folks that are walking around with the red shirts?
So we have a red shirt, a fitness coach available at all the busy times. So they're
Okay.
not here all day, but
Gotcha.
most of the day. So during the busy times, there's a fitness coach available.
Okay.
If they can't find them because the club is large, or maybe they're already meeting with someone or helping someone else, then we have a member service desk, and people can stop at the member service desk and request an appointment with the fitness staff. They can also ask for someone that's available, which would be myself, or maybe a manager on duty would be able to help them in that moment. And typically there are trainers, that are maybe in between clients or something. So, chances are we can help them on the spot, but if not, they can make an appointment.
Good. So they got plenty of options. Let's say a member is interested in an orientation to the gym. Is that something that could be included when they first sign up or join?
Of course. So as a new member is typically given a complimentary session to meet with a trainer.
Nice.
And that's for anything from, show me how to use these machines to, check my posture and my flexibility and, what do you recommend? What should I do? What is that path for me to reach my goals? And if they want training, of course, that's something that we welcome, obviously. But they're also given the opportunity to purchase a discounted package at point of sale just to help them get going.
Perfect.
So that they can just, try it out, and see how helpful it might be to them and how they might, what that journey looks like to their fitness goals.
That's great. And there are options available as far as the different levels of personal trainers they can work with as well?
Yes. So our club, or our company, really, we have several levels of trainers, which means based on their degree and how many certifications they have, how long they've been in the industry, what their experience and knowledge base is, we can establish what level they should start out with in our company. And from the trainer's aspect, we provide almost unlimited continuing education opportunities for them, which can help them move up through the levels. But then it allows us to describe to a client, okay, if you have several orthopedic issues and you have some heart trouble and you just came from cardiac rehab, or, if you really need a big helping hand, then we're going to recommend someone at the elite level, someone who's going to be, tons of experience, worked with people in your same situation, has a degree, so that way it's easier for us to match someone with the appropriate trainer based on the things that they need.
Tremendous. That is wonderful. And how about this, Kat? What about someone who's interested in a fitness assessment? Is that something that's readily available that they schedule at the membership services department or through the trainer directly?
Yes. So they can either schedule it with a trainer directly.
Okay.
They have the opportunity to select a trainer based on, we keep pictures of their bios on the wall and on the website. So they can go in either of those places. They can contact member services to set an appointment with the trainer that they've chosen. They can see them on the floor. They can call me. So from my standpoint, I think it's pretty easy to get scheduled to meet with someone for an assessment or measurements. Something else, as we talk about assessments, something that is unique to our club is we actually have a machine called the Staiku, which is a 3D body scanner that we purchased just recently. So if they were looking for an assessment and were really interested in body fat, the 3D rendering is phenomenal. So it takes a three-dimensional photograph that will be able to measure any body part. So we could say, okay, let me see the waist, let me see the hips, let me see the neck. So you have all of your measurements there. It will give you their body fat. It also assesses posture because it can superimpose a grid behind them. And the fantastic thing about it is when you have those clients who the scale isn't moving, then when they redo their Staiku, they can see how their body now looks maybe svelte, but they weigh the same. And so it'll show them not only that their body fat has changed, their body composition has changed, but exactly where it has come from. So they can see it, how their waist has come in, or they can see how they're, they have the V taper now. So they can see the exact places where their body has changed. And it's unbelievable to see that visual. So that's something that only us and one other location here in Atlanta have, that machine.
And Kat, is it called Staiku? Is that how you pronounce it?
Staiku, Styku.
I'll have to look that up as well. I'm learning a lot today. That's what I miss about Concourse. When I was there, Kat, some 15, 16 years ago, Concourse was always the first on everything, like introducing all the innovative, new, contemporary, evolving equipment in our industry. And that's just phenomenal, but I guess it shouldn't surprise me. But that, again, gives me another reason to come out there and get my Staiku checked out. That's tremendous.
For you, free of charge, Taryn.
Oh, you're too kind, Kat. Thank you. I might be kind of scared, though, to have anyone else look at my results.
I'm happy that you said that, actually, because we actually have the ability to step out of the room before it scans. So if someone were super, self-conscious, we don't have to be in the room.
Okay.
Now, I can't save you from the fact that I obviously would see the picture because I would want to go over it with you. But I don't have to be there as you are in, something that makes you feel self-conscious. So, to do the scan, you have to be in form-fitting clothes, for guys, they probably go without their shirt or something, but I can step out of the room and allow it to count down and scan you without me there.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent, Kat. Well, again, I'm excited to come see that. And then continuing on the tour, or the virtual tour for the folks who are listening out there,
Okay.
you mentioned when you walk in, there's is it a full-size basketball court in the athletic club? Is that right? When you walk into the
It
gym?
is a full-size court, yes. But before you even get into the club, some of the other places that you'll pass by, as you walk into our club, we do have a pro shop with some of the most really comfortable clothing, but
Mm-hmm.
along the lines of like the Lululemon and things like that.
Yep.
So we really have some nice, you know, um, fitness gear, I would say,
Yeah.
in our pro shop. We have a hair salon here. We have 7 clay tennis courts. We have a kids club. So if you need to drop off your kids while you get your workout in, we have that.
Perfect.
We have a restaurant that's open to the public. So they do catering, and some of the employees from the companies near us come over for lunch. And that's all before you even get into the club itself.
Awesome.
So then once you're inside the club, now you're going to see the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
We have squash courts with a very robust squash program. We have 2 racquetball courts. We have a Pilates studio. We do indoor cycling. We have 2 group fitness rooms. We have one that is our large room overlooking that lake we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the majority of our classes go on. And we can talk about the types of classes that we have. But in addition, we have a mind-body studio. So our Pilates, yoga, stretch, maybe bar classes go on in the mind-body room.
Mm-hmm.
We have a cafe in addition to the restaurant. So the cafe is down on the first floor where you can get your smoothies and, pre, post workout kind of meals, grab and go items, fresh fruit, coffee. So we have a cafe in addition to the restaurant. We have both an indoor pool and an outdoor pool. And so we should pause there for a moment because our outdoor pool is probably one of the most sought after pools in the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's open year round. It's heated. It's saline. And so the master swim program and the triathletes that come here, it draws a lot of attention. Our pool does. So it's definitely a destination for a lot of people is our outdoor pool.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, absolutely. I recall, definitely.
So then our locker rooms are full service. We have
Mm-hmm.
a sauna, steam room, and whirlpool in each of the locker rooms. Towel service, daily use lockers, semi-permanent rental lockers. So everything you need is here. The shampoo, conditioner, razors, and anything that you need to shower and get ready for work. We have it all here.
And if someone's wanting a massage, I recall, was it that level that massage therapy is as well?
That's right. So we do have massage therapy as well. And as a new member, we typically give them a 30-minute complimentary massage as well.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
So massage is definitely something that we want people to take advantage of.
That's excellent. Wow. Very good, Kat. You've covered most of all my questions here as far as the club goes. How about as far as and I'm not going to expect you to detail all the membership options and rates and prices. I'm sure they can get all that. But I assume there must be all memberships that are optional in terms of, is there individual, family, couples, corporate gym memberships and such? Is that right?
Yes. So not being in membership, I'll give you the best answer I can.
Sure.
We certainly have individual and couple memberships. We do a lot of corporate memberships because we sit in the Concourse Corporate Park.
That's right.
So we try to set up as many of those relationships as we can. So if they have a certain amount of employees that will join, we can offer them discounted rates. And a lot of different companies will pay for a portion of the membership or maybe even pay all of it, to where as an employee of a certain company, you may have your membership paid for you. Which is a phenomenal benefit to be able to belong to a club such as ours. But yeah, so they may cover part or all. But either way, we do negotiate a lower rate for them to be able to send their employees here. We have some like senior memberships, that can come at certain times of the day. And so, there should be an option. We have student young professional, so anyone under 30 can get a better rate as well. So there's numerous options that are worth checking into to see if it will fit into your budget.
No, that's great. Yeah, definitely. They got to check that out. And plenty of parking, too. When I recall, they had the big, huge parking deck level that's right there at the building as well.
We do.
Yeah, that's great, Kat. Let me ask you about this too. Before we started recording, I was wanting you to tell me about something that wasn't there when I was at Concourse called the COT program. I thought that was really cool. For the folks who don't know that, as an inside, like an employee or part of Wellbridge, tell us please about this COT program, because I thought that was really neat from the presentation you'd given.
Okay, so when I first got here, as you come down the main stairway, kind of on your way to the locker rooms, there was a humongous card and this big, gigantic, it looked like a big postcard. It said "caught" across the top. And it had a picture of one of our employees. And it essentially, a member had nominated one of our cafe associates for the CAUT program, which is they caught them doing something extraordinary. So it's either above and beyond as far as customer service, or just they stepped outside of really what's expected of them, and made a member's day better. So the CAUT program is associates recognizing associates, or members recognizing associates for something like that. And it gets posted on our intranet, so all the employees in all of the clubs can see it. And then, like I said, this gigantic postcard that pretty much lets everybody that walks by know that this associate has done something phenomenal. So that is really special within our company, to recognize others for the great work that they do.
That is tremendous. I think that's something that other companies could definitely borrow an idea of and learn from, because I think far too often those special people get overlooked, and they're out there, But I love that. That's the first time I've heard of that, and I'm glad that they do that at Concourse and with Wellbridge, of course. Let me get back to you here for a second, Catherine, and ask you a few more questions. As far as personal training goes, because I know that was how the story started with getting into the whole health and nutrition and everything. What would you say if I asked you in terms of, it's a two-part question, it's a pretty fully loaded question, so I'll give you a second here. But what is your personal philosophy, your own mission statement on fitness, health, wellness for folks, and what do you find most rewarding about what you do with not only personal training, but also everything at Concourse, of course?
So my philosophy is really, we kind of touched on it already, is that we have more control than we believe that we do a lot of times.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
And there was a story when I worked at ACN. I remember getting a phone call, and this person was inquiring about training for their partner. And she's telling me about her partner, and she was just distraught. And I thought, I can't wait to talk to her, because there's absolutely something that could be done, and she did have lots of issues, but to give you an idea, because no one will know who it is, but I mean, she had knee issues in both knees. She had hip issues. She had just numerous orthopedic issues, and didn't think that, there was much hope. And after training 3 times a week for several months, she lost over 20 pounds. Oh, wow. She was swimming. She was, just enjoying life. And that is what is so rewarding, because, when they're feeling like they're at the end of the rope, that there's more that can happen, So you may not be like you were when you were 20 or, or 30 or whatever that may be, but there's definitely an upside. You can certainly improve. And so those types of things, there isn't enough praise or money in the world that makes that feeling, any better. So them just telling me that we've been able to change their life and the things that they're able to do, or their outlook on things, that is what makes everything worth it. So that's what it's all about, is changing their life for the better.
So empowering, Kat. Love that. That's a very awesome story, and we need to have more stories like that too. And that's tremendous. Kat, I can't believe 30 minutes has flown by this fast. I've been watching the clock closely. I'm going to make sure I get you out of here. If you have a couple minutes, though, real quick, let's make sure we get some contact information. Okay. For the folks who have been listening, especially those who are in the Atlanta or Sandy Springs area and such, and they want to learn more about Concourse, how do they find out more about Concourse Athletic Club, please?
For sure. Okay, so you can go to concourseclub.com, and that is our direct website. From there, you can, click on all the services and find out some more information, but you can also get yourself a 3-day pass to come and check us out. So we welcome anyone to come try us out. You can call the club 770-698-2000, and that will lead you to a membership rep if you wish to talk more about, just coming in for a visit. And then if you want to contact myself, you can email me or call me. My direct line here at Concourse is 770-698-2081. You can reach me at Luciano, Luciano at wellbridge.com.
Perfect. And we'll have that on the screen, too, for folks. If you want to grab a pen and paper, we could take that down again when we finish up here. But, Kat, that was excellent. Again, I really enjoyed this interview and learning more about Concourse. You've enlightened me on a couple of things that I didn't even know that was out there with the self-propelled treadmill and the
the Staiku.
Staiku. I got to come check that out. Kat, before I let you go, too, one more thing I wanted to do real quick. I wanted to give a shout-out to a couple other people out there if they're watching at Concourse. I wanted to say hi to Brett Stanley, Chuck Deason, both those gentlemen. They were great mentors for me. They helped me a lot in my personal training field.
They're still here.
They should be caught, in my opinion. And also I wanted to give a shout-out, of course, to both Crystal Barrett and Suzanne Seipert, too. They're just awesome. And love y'all. If you guys are watching, you're like family. And Kat, it's so awesome to connect with you, too. I want to have you back on here for another follow-up video blog, and we can get more into you and learning more about. I want to get back to what you were talking about with your philosophy and just the whole self-control. I really think that's a whole 30-minute video blog we can do on that and nutrition. Let's do that. We'll set that up. But Kat, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you being on here.
Thank you, Taryn. I appreciate it.